All right, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about section 10.2. 10.2 is involving exponents again, and we're going to be talking about two special kinds of properties involving exponents when we are multiplying. But first, you have the first part of the do now. Please pause the video, rewrite these four expressions in what we call the expanded form, and then resume when you are ready to move on to check your answers. So, if you listen to my voice, that means you have completed the do now and you want to check your answers. Well, the expression number 1 is 3 raised to the 5th power. We write that as 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So it's 3 multiplied by itself 5 times. Expression number 2, we have x to the 5th times y squared. So we're going to be multiplying every single term here, and it's going to be x 5 times and y twice. Down in the bottom left corner, number 3, so you have the quantity 4x raised to the 3rd power times the quantity 2y raised to the 6th power. So when we rewrite this, it's going to be 4x 3 times and 2y 6 times with multiplication in between each. And lastly, number 4, we have the quantity x plus 3 raised to the 4th power. So we're going to be multiplying x plus 3 by itself 4 times. So they should look like this. Awesome job so far. So here is your second part of the do now. This part says rewrite each expression using exponents. So we're going to do the opposite of what we did in the first part. So in these 6 problems, these are written in expanded form, and we're going to ask that you try and write it using exponents. So short and condense it. So please pause the video, complete the problems, and then resume when you are ready to check your answers and move on. All right, again, so if you're listening to my voice, that means you are ready to check your answers. So the first problem, I see I have the base of 4 written 7 times. It's going to be 4 to the 7th power. Number 2, we have the base of negative 7x written 3 times, and again, this is all using multiplication in between them. So it's going to be the quantity negative 7x raised to the 3rd power. Notice we need to include the negative sign. It's very important that we include this negative sign because it's negative 7x times negative 7x times negative 7x. Moving down to problem number 3, the base here is going to be x plus 1, and I see we have that 6 times. So it's going to be x plus 1 raised to the 6th. Number 4 over on your right hand side is the base 3 over 7, and that's multiplied 4 times. But again, notice we have parentheses here because we need to use parentheses when we have fractions and exponents. We're going to talk about that why that is very soon, but please trust me on it. I'm going to scroll up here. Number 5, we have 2 different bases. We have w and p. W is repeated 3 times, p is multiplied 4 times. So w to the 3rd times p to the 4th. And last but not least, problem number 6, we have 4 different bases here. We have 3, w, x, and y. So your final answer is 3 to the 5th times w to the 3rd times x to the 2nd times y. Awesome job. So today, what we are going to accomplish is we will be able to multiply powers using the product of powers property and the power of a power property. And we're going to dive into some concrete examples of these in one moment. This is going to be our goal today, is to be able to apply these 2 properties. So please copy down exactly what you see, pause the video, and when you are done copying down, please resume. That way we can take the notes. All right. So again, if you're listening to my voice, that means that your screen, or your paper, I should say, looks exactly like the screen, except for the Smart Notebook limited mode, nonsense. But everything that's on the screen should be on your sheet. So the product of powers property in algebraic terms says we have the base of a to the mth power. We're multiplying that with again, the same base of a to the nth power. And when we simplify them together, we can add the exponents. So we get a to the m plus n. In words, it says to multiply powers with the same base, we're simply going to add their exponents. So let's do an example in the bottom left-hand corner here. So we have x to the third times x squared. So if I want to show what it looks like in expanded form, it would be x to the third, so x times x times x. That's getting multiplied with x squared. So I have two of them. And now, how many do I have in total? Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our final answer is x to the fifth. And notice, I have 3 and I have 2 as my exponents. So I really have x to the 3 plus 2, which gets us to x to the fifth, because 3 plus 2 is 5. Over on the right-hand side, we have w to the third times w to the fourth. If I have w to the third, I could write it in expanded, w times w times w. Multiply that with w to the fourth, so w times w times w times w. And now I need to see how many I have. Well, I had 3 in green, I had 4 in blue, so I get 7. So I get w to the 7th. And again, 3 plus 4 is going to give me 7. So with that, please try these two problems on your own. Whoop, too far. Please try these two problems on your own. Pause the video to complete it, and then resume when you are ready to check your answers. All right, so if you are listening to my voice, that means you are ready to go over these two problems together. So let's separate it real quick. Number 3, over on the left, we have a to the 4th times x squared times x to the 12th times a to the 10th. What I'm going to do is I'm going to combine my a's first. I'm going to combine my a's first. So I have a to the 4th times a to the 10th. And remember, if it's the same base and we're multiplying the bases together, we add the exponents. So it's going to be a to the 4 plus 10. Likewise, I can do the exact same process here with my x's. Well, I have 2 over here. I have 12 here. Since it's the same base, I'm multiplying the bases. We're going to add the exponents. So we get a to the 14th times x to the 14th. If you have it as x to the 14th times a to the 14th, these are the same. Nice job. All right, number 4 on the right-hand side, I only have one base here. I have the base of negative 0.5. That's getting raised to the 3rd, and then getting raised to the 2nd. So since we're multiplying the same base, we're going to add the exponents. So we get a final total of negative 0.5, all raised to the 5th power. Nice job, y'all. Nice job. All right, let's move on. So again, here is the screen. Please pause it, copy it down, and we're going to go through these notes when you are ready to move on. So let's talk about the power of a power property. So again, let's show the algebraic representation and then how we would describe it in words. In the algebraic representation, we have the term a to the m that's getting raised to a power, and that power is n. So when this happens, we multiply the exponents together. In words, it says to find the power of a power, we're going to multiply the exponents. So let's show you what I mean by that. number 1 says we have x to the third raised to the fourth. So that means I'm going to rewrite x to the third 4 times. Because I'm taking x to the third and it says I'm repeating that multiplication 4 times. So now we have x to the third times x to the third times x to the third times x to the third, and we can add all of these together, so we get 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, and we get 12. Another way to do it is if we look back at the original question, we have x to the third raised to the fourth. Well, how do we get 12 from 3 and 4? Yeah, we multiply it. So if we multiply 3 and 4, we get 12. So it's going to be x to the 12th. Over on your right-hand side, example number 2 says we have 3 squared raised to the 4th power. So I'm going to do exactly what we did before. I'm going to rewrite it as 3 squared 4 times. So now we add the exponents because it's the same base getting multiplied. And we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So now we're going to add them all together. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 is going to give me 8. So we get 3. Nope. Come on now. There we go. We get 3 to the 8th. And again, to check our work here, we have 2 and 4. If we multiply 2 and 4, we get 8. Let's see if I can get rid of this here. No, I don't want to learn more about it. Nope. Come on now. Come on. Thank you. All right, so you have 2 problems to work on your own. Numbers 3 and 4. Pause the video, try it out, and hit resume when you are ready to check your answer. If you're listening to my voice, that means you are ready to check your answer. Again, let's separate it. So we have y squared raised to the 10th. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the 2 and 10 together. So it's going to look like y to the 2 times 10 power, which is y to the 20th. Nice. Now we have number 4 is the quantity negative 0.3 to the 3rd power, getting raised to the 5th power. So again, I'm going to distribute the 5 and the 3. I'm going to multiply these two together. So I get negative 0.3 to the 3 times 5. And I can simplify that. I get negative 0.3 to the 15th. And that is our final answer. Okay, so here is your assignment. Your assignment is to complete these 12 problems, and then on the next slide are all the answers. So please pause, complete these 12 problems, and be ready to submit some kind of form to show that you have completed these problems. On the next slide are going to be your answers. So again, please pause, complete it, and then proceed when you are ready. All right, here are the answers. If you have any questions, please send us an email. We'll answer you as quickly as we can. You're doing great with this. Keep smiling. Y'all are awesome. Let's draw another smiley face. Have a great day. And again, if you have any questions, please send us an email.